Hello and welcome to a new video of the IVAO Football World Cup World Tour 2022. First of all, I was asked of someone from the last post if I could do a stream in English language. So I decided yes to do it. I tried to do my very best. Please have in mind I'm not an English native speaking person, but I will try to do my very best to be for all non-German speaking guys as precise as possible. So we'll do this video in English, and sorry if I fall back to German. I will come back to English as soon as possible. So let's start. What are we going to do? We are here in Bangkok, Suvarnabhumi International Airport in Bangkok, and today's flight is a trip to Dubai International. It's the 10th leg. For those of you who followed or who looked all my other videos, they will recognize or realize that one leg is missing. And yes, you're right. The leg I was trying to record yesterday had some technical issues with it, so I could not publish it at all. So leg number 9, I guess, is missing, and this will be leg number 10, but we will see. For today's flight, I will also use my well-known Airbus A340-600, which is my favorite flight for mid and long-haul flights. All right, I would say let's directly jump into flight planning. And for this, I switch to, first of all, the web eye. So let's see where we are here. We are at Bangkok Suvarnabhumi International, and our trip will lead us somehow, well, we'll see. And we will see. Here it is, yes, Dubai International. Sorry for being on the wrong side. Okay, Suvarnabhumi. From there to there, there's not too much traffic and no controllers at all. And I do not expect much, but it will be a 5 hours or even 6 hours flight. I don't know. We'll see when we've finished the planning. But by now there's no controller online, so let's take a look at the World Tour Systems page. And this is a flight, leg number 10, Suvarnabhumi Airport, Bangkok, Dubai International in Dubai, Oman. Suggested route. I never used the suggested route. I just used the route SimBrief supposed. And here we have two suggested alternates, which is also not very important for me. Anyway, let's directly jump into the flight planning. I do it with SimBrief as usual. So let's start. My airline is SimAir, 2HotelKilo. Departure is Victor Tango Sierra Bravo. No, Bravo Sierra. OTBS. BS. And it will be Oscar Mike Delta Bravo. So Oscar Tango Hotel. Well, it's none of the supposed alternates, but I don't care at all. So departure time, Zulu 8:35. We now have 8:14. This is much too few time, too less time. I go to 45. So I need roughly 30 minutes to prepare everything, and so let's go for 8:45, which should be sufficient. We take the A340 airframe. We leave everything else except my pilot ID, which is always taken a wrong one from SimBrief, and I don't know why. Anyway, this should be everything. We have a fuel factor of plus 5%. For those who did not know or do not know, one of the or two of the flights which have been planned by SimBrief, I was flying with too few fuel on board, so I got a fuel warning in the arrival or during landing, and so I started to increase the fuel factor here within SimBrief, and now after going to 20% plus, 10% plus, now I'm at 5% plus, and I think this is exactly sufficient so that I have enough fuel when I land and everything is still legal. All right. Runway is 01 right. Let's take a look at the weather in Bangkok. Bangkok. And let's write it down. It's 050 degrees. Yes, that's fine. 050, 11 knots. 11 knots. There was it. Back to German. Sorry for that. 32 degrees Celsius, and we have a QNH of 1012. Okay. All right. So 050 and SimBrief said 01 right, so this sounds reasonable for me. Let's continue. Generate flight. Yes. Okay, 6:34 airtime. So this is going to be a long flight. Yeah. Okay. Yes, all right. So we load it into the airplane directly. Into the FMS system. It explains, so I can use this directory. And as the next thing, I just file my IVAO flight plan. DeltaHotelKilo IFR scheduled air transport. This is all fine. 8:45 is fine for me. 360. So this will be our first flight level, and then we will have at least one more climb, a step climb. So then we start the world tour, and I also give a remark that I'm YouTubing it. Oh. Recording for YouTube at DeltaHotelKilo. And we have 3 995 Paxes on board, which is also quite important for our trip planning in the plane cockpit preparations. Okay. Yes. So after having filed the flight in IVAO, the next thing I'd always do is logging into the pilot client. Yes, I did not do tower controlling in Düsseldorf yesterday, so there's no Cessna 172 pre-selected. I say connect and check the flight plan here. SLR to Hotel Kilo, IFR scheduled air transport VTBS, which is Bangkok to Dubai, Oman, and we have an alternate, we have a remark with world tour and recording for YouTube. Everything is fine. So let's close this down and go back to the planning. We will take a look at the route in SkyVector. SkyVector is here. Just to figure out what the environment in Bangkok is looking like. But as we can see, we start from 0, 1, and this is not very high area, 1,200, 2,000. And then when we go to the shore, there's some mountains, but we don't care, we are high enough. Alright, and on the arriving site, it's nearly the same. We're jumping over this coastline here and then do some kind of approach. We will see, arrival, approach, whatever. And we'll see in a moment. In Dubai, it looks like we are using runway 30. Is it left or right? Haven't seen it right now. Well, we'll see. It's Simbrief who says, which, come on. There it goes. 30 left, and it's 01 right, Pasto 3 kilo. This is part already of our cockpit preparations, but we start as usual with the block fuel. So flight planning is done. Whoa, I need to, sorry for this, I need to close, yes, a little bit the window shutters. But sorry, again, I need to rearrange my lights. Let's do it like this. Okay. All right, so cockpit preparations. I copy my block fuel, jump into the plane, weight balance, and just copy and paste. Enter and done. So, first step of my cockpit preparations, I just take a look into the web eye last time to see, yes, there we are. We are logged in. And we see our leg today. So let's start the cockpit preparations, and today I will use my plugin, DeltaHotelKilo cockpit plugin, to do the startups. While this is starting, I already start doing the flight planning. Init Alpha site, which is Victor Tango Bravo Delta, to Oscar Mike Delta Bravo, Dubai. Oh, yeah. VTBS Victor Tango Bravo Sierra Oscar Mike Delta Bravo. Alright, now it's correct. Insert. And then my flight number, I always use my aircraft call sign, which is not correct, I know. But this is how I do it. Pax numbers. Pax 395. Cost index 55. Cruising level 380. And let's see what the temperature is about. 380 is 76. It's 60 minus 63. Minus 63 plus 5 is minus 57. 58. Sorry. Minus 58. Done, and the IRS is aligning on the GPS perfectly. Alright, so we go to the flight plan. Victor Tango Bravo Sierra, departure, and Simbrief wants us to leave via 01 right, Pasto 3 Kilo. 01 right. There it was already. Pasto 3 Kilo and insert. So let's check for discontinuities. But normally there are none. Alright, that's it. And then let's check it on the navigation display. Yeah. Alright, so let's see. We start Bangkok 01 right, and then we leave heading north, and then we turn left to the east. A long flight to the east, sorry. To the west, of course. Well, and this looks like it will be the approach in Bangkok, in Dubai, but it is not yet planned. So, but for now everything is fine. I'm using Oscar Mike Delta Bravo also as a destination in the progress page to see the distance to the to our destination airport, and then we can go back and init Bravo page, and therefore I look for the parking brake is set, and I open the Tolis tool ISCS screen. Let's check. Yes. Ground services, we removed the chocks, and the power is external power is enabled, which will be disabled by our tool. Loading performance, we have 395 paxes. Yes, load, and we have 68.1 tons of fuel. And we do a flex start, so let's take the center of gravity. 22.9.0. Oops, 1 decimal should be sufficient. And we don't even have to put this dash 0.0. And we have a center of gravity 24.3. And that's it. We have a block fuel of 68.1. And we have some extra time. That's fine. We go to the performance page, and we have 158, 170, 1 up, clear, 176. Yep. Quite heavy today, and we have 1 up, 3.1, no, 3.2, and we have a full flex takeoff temperature of 64. Okay, so this is fine. Ground services chocks are removed, external power is enabled or plugged in and available. So this is our Yes, here we on the other side we do the flight planning page. Then we start with the glare shield. We have a QNH of 1012 on both sides, right? Then constraints on, initial climb 5000 as usual. Then we do the range of 10 here and 20 there. Right? We go back to the arc mode. Then we do 1000 here already. And we check the radar is above standby and standby. Flaps 0. Ground spoilers retracted. Weather radar we are setting up when we are lining up. And the same with the same is true for terrain radar. Alright, so we are prepared. We have still 3 minutes to go. Well, for IRS alignment, so we have just some time to do our planning. Our taxi planning. We will start 01 right, which will be in this direction. So if this is the aircraft, we are starting there, so we need to go there for taxi. So we have to back up left to the right. So this will be our taxiway. Then we will go there and here. And I think this should be 01 right. Right? It will be a rather long taxi. No, this is not a 01 right. It is. Oh, sure. Oh, fine. That's working fine. All right. So we are driving all the way down. I guess this is Bravo here. Okay, Roxrillevak. That's it. Okay, that's fine. So let's do the planning. I use better pushback plugin. Yes, and this is already. We may delete. So it's not my first time I was starting here.
Round to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
I will do so. Okay, we have still 1 minute to go. Let's check another time. The glare shield is fine. QNH. Constraints. Initial climb. Flight directors both on. 10 nautical miles on the navigation display on the left side and 20 nautical miles on the right side. We do the brake setup when we prepare for taxi. The same is true for the transponder and TCAS setting. So we are prepared to start our engines, or at least just happened the GPS is now primary. Do this and do this, clear it, and then I do start my auxiliary power unit. The APU, I'm using my plugin for the engine start, and the plugin itself is taking care about the APU. Meanwhile, I can already start better pushback and ask
cockpit,
for push it.
Tow is driving up.
The tow is driving up, all right. And the APU is starting. Exhaust gas temperature is rising. turbine is turning. As soon as it becomes available, the plugin will switch to APU supply, will disconnect the ground power units, and then we'll wait for me to give him the go to start the engine, or give it the go to start the engines. Once again, sorry for my English. I'll try to do my very best.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
So go ahead. APU is available, external power disconnected, APU bleed is on, beacon is on, and the plugin is waiting for confirmation to start the engines. So we wait for the pusher to lift us up. Right now.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Release parking brake. Before we do so, we start the block timer, and the brake is gone.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
I may start engine. I started by confirming that we are allowed to start, and the plugin is doing the rest. So I can switch this off. The plugin takes care of all necessary stuff to start the engines. Let's take a look. Here we go. Okay, 1 and 2 already turning. 3 and 4 are not powered right now. It's a quite short push. Number 3 and number 4 are now moving or turning. 1 and 2 are already available. We can open the plugin info window so to see where we are. So engine 3 is started, engine 4 is already started, but we are waiting a master switch on. We're waiting for 3 and 4 to become available.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Set the parking brake, we'll do so. Done.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Sure. Okay, startup is complete, everything is green. And then we can jump back into the cockpit. Parking brake is set. We will have signals on the right.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the right. We'll see you next time and have a great flight.
We'll hope so. Okay, pin and thumb. Then we're good to go for taxi preparations. Runway turnoff lights on, taxi lights on. Auto brake, RTO armed. We set the transponder to auto mode, above, and TCAS is in standby. Altitude reporting is on. Flaps 1. Ground spoilers armed. And predictive wind shear on. But we switch on the weather radar when we are lining up, before we're lining up. And the same is true for the terrain radar. So let's do the flight control check. Aileron and pitch. Everything is working fine, so let's take a look at the pitch trim. We should have 3.2 up. Yes, and it's 3.1, so we set it to 3.2. Okay. Then, last thing to do, which is normally done during the taxi, but I do it here right now. Takeoff config test, and let's see in the ECAM memo, takeoff config normal, no blue, and we're good to go. Brakes, we do the brake test, release the parking brake, and watch out here on the pressure gauge. Yes, pressure is gone. We are slightly moving forward and we use our brakes. Stop, and nothing happens. That's fine for me. And we can continue. So let's do it from the outside view. Okay, go down here, turning left, turning right, left and right again, and then all the way down. We are quite heavy, but I will speed it up a little bit. So I will shut up my mouth, and I guess we will do it in the time lapse. Well, we take the next right, not this one, not the first one, but the second one, so we save one more turn just to make sure that we don't overheat the brakes. Go back to 8 knots. Oh, I wanted to. Okay. We are arriving at the holding point runway 01 right. So let's slow down a little bit, but we will move forward to the holding point. Stop there, set our parking brakes, do our takeoff preparations, departure preparations, whatever you call it. And then we will take a last look into the web eye, just to ensure that there's no controller online and that we don't harm other aircrafts. Alright. So let's stop here. Parking brakes. Parking brakes set. Yes, parking brakes are set. Take a look into the web eye first. Here we go. So at Bangkok International, there's not, or Suvarnabhumi International, there's not too much traffic. Here we have some traffic at Don Muang. No controller online, so we give our own takeoff clearance or departure clearance. Let's check another time. We start on the overhead. Landing lights on. Glare shield is set up. RTO is set up. TCAS enabled. Flaps 1, ground spoilers, and we start our weather radar and the terrain radar, and that's it. We are still TCAS memo, takeoff config normal no blue. Release the parking brake, and we have 0850 as departure time. Parking brake released, and then we move slowly. We will not stop anymore, we will keep it rolling. Okay, we're lined up. Thrust 50%. Waiting for the engines to yes, and thrust lever flex. Knots. I wonder why there's no call out, foreseen from TOLIS. There is a V1 call out, but not 100 knots. V1. Rotate. Positive climb, gear up. Gears up. Not yet. Yes, gear is up and autopilot engage. Autopilot engaged. Ground spoiler disarmed, thrust lever climb. Thrust climb, nav auto thrust wide. Everything is fine. We're waiting for S speed. S speed, flaps 0. Flaps at 0. And okay. Now everybody could see my flight simulator. X-Plane 11 just crashed. Just to be sure, I had to restart my whole system. So I'm now starting X-Plane 11 again, and then we try to recover from TOLIS with the TOLIS tool, resume the flight at the last locked point TOLIS saved. So we will see if this is working. And where exactly TOLIS did the last save, autosave. So let's see. If this is not working, I need to do the flight again. Anyway, let's open this TOLIS resume from last time. And let's see what TOLIS is doing. Okay, so everything is prepared. Then I do not really everything. We need to check. Yes, this is also happening because my the thrust was already set. So we do a takeoff config test. All right, so takeoff config test, ICA memo, takeoff config normal, no blue. This is set up correctly. We have the light switched on. RTO is set. Transponder is 1000, so this is done correctly. Flaps 1, ground spoilers, predictive wind shear armed, and weather radar on, terrain radar on. Right now, well, as we can see, we could fly without any plan. Oh no, it's there, fine. Alright, so go here, there, and then we go to the performance page. No, and the progress. No, performance. Alright, flaps, let's check it once again. 3.2 up. Okay, so flaps. Pitch. That's it. So it worked quite nicely. 15 minutes block time, and we are good to go a second time. QNH is set. We just take a look into... Oh, right. No, we do not. We connect as soon as we started at above 3,000 to 4,000 feet. We have some time. We are allowed to have a disconnect time of 30 minutes before reconnect. Everything is fine. Parking brakes released. Okay, so we did not have to do the whole cockpit preparation stuff again. Yeah, too bad my crash, but sometimes this happens. And has nothing to do with my bad or old hardware. It's just sometimes a matter of explain 11. Sometimes it crashes, but I cannot imagine or cannot remember when it was the last time it crashed during flight. Sometimes it more often crashes during loading the application, loading explain, but I can't remember when it did like today. Okay, so we're lining up. Done. Take a look into the web. I haven't started it yet. So let's start the web eye. Fast. Yes. There's still... Well, I'm not there. I will start as soon as I am in the air again. So let's thrust 50%, wait for the engines to come, and then flex. $5,000 is fine. $100 knots. V1. Rotate. Positive climb, gear up. Gears up, autopilot, engage. Thrust lever climb. We forgot to switch on the tower, so we did this. Ground spoiler disarmed. Navigation displays, everything is fine. 2,000 feet, we wait for S speed, and when we're back to the 3,000 to 4,000 feet, we are switching on the pilot client again. Okay, S speed, flaps 0. Thrust, climb, nav, auto thrust wide. Flaps at 0. 2,800. 900. And now there's time to take a look into the web eye again. So there's over Bangkok, we are starting from here, and now we switch on the pilot client again. Victor Tango Bravo Sierra to Dubai is still our flight, then we go for 380. 380, our first cruising height. Thrust, climb, nav, auto thrust wide. And let's see if we are connected. Yes, we are connected. We need to change the once again 1000. Yes, we are on the radio, on the web eye. So everything is fine again. Let's see if we make it to our destination without any more crashes. Flight simulator crashes. 7,000 feet. Navigation display range 40 miles. Okay, that worked fine. Thanks to Tolis for this resume from last flight possibility, which is not there for every payware plugin. But with Tolis we saved, or I saved, about 30 minutes. 8,900, 9,000 feet. And as you could see, nearly everything was set up correctly, so do we have a constraint there? Yeah, no, not really. We have a constraint at 150. We have a constraint, 10,000 feet. Let's cut the light and check it again. Transponder is in auto mode, TCAS tilt above, and TCAS mode Tara, flaps at 0, ground spoilers retracted, predictive wind shear is auto, and weather radar is on. We can switch off the terrain radar at this height already, so we are good to climb. Yeah, we have a 10,000 or below on Bravo Sierra 108, sorry, and then we climb to our cruising level. This should be Don Muang Airport, I guess. Yes. This is Don Muang. Why are they using... Okay, that's fine. We are on track again. And as soon as we have our cruising speed and cruising height, we will see what our estimated time of arrival will be. That's it. Victor Tango. There are some other aircrafts. At least one. One other aircraft. Not some other, but one other. Okay. We are climbing again. Thrust, climb, climb. Nav, all thrust wide. QNH standard. Predicted to 380. 9:31 Zulu. About 15 minutes. Okay, I guess we will do a little time lapse here. Oh, my cam. Sorry for the camera, but we have quite sunny weather condition here in Germany, and the sun is shining right into my office here, and is changing the light all the time. So I might have to check the camera quite some time. Flight level 200. 360. And there's a step to 380 at Bangkok. There we have Bangkok. Three, 6, 0. Well, 36 is a 72, 62, 57 plus 5, 52. Minus 52. No. So I was wrong. Once again, minus 52. Okay, that's fine. Okay, and we have, oh right, as we can see, the destination airport is not programmed. Oscar Mike Delta Bravo. So this is also something which was not done correctly by the TOLIS resume from last flight functionality. So now it's cruising level 360 and we have an init of 360 and the temperature is right. Here is everything right. Okay, go back to performance and here we go back to flight plan mode. Alright, we are reaching our first height or cruising level, which is flight level 360. After this we will do our cruising preparations, we will plan the step climb and then we well, I will switch off for a moment. I will cut off the cut the video so that we will not have to view all the cruise part of it. So reaching cruising level. Taxis are allowed to go to the toilet. Auto mode, we switch the TCAS till to all. We have no weather, so we switch off the weather radar, but we keep the predictive wind shear on in auto mode. And that's it. Now we just plan our step climb, which was a step to flight level 380 at Bangkok. So let's just step alts 380 slash uniform Romeo Kilo Oscar Kilo. Where is it? Kilo Oscar Kilo. And that's it. Flight plan. We now should have a prediction to step to 380 at 10:53. So it's about 1 hour. That's fine. Okay, that's it. We are in cruise. Taxis are all going to the toilet. So we'll see again as soon as we arrive the step climb at in about 60 minutes at 10:30 Zulu time. See you then. Welcome back. We are now at the step climb. We reached the step climb just about 3 miles, so we go for 380 and just push it in. New cruise altitude, correct. Oh, sorry. So now we wait for 380. And then we'll see our our time when we reach the top of descent. Sorry. So it did not happen too much in the meantime. As we can see, about 1/4 of the whole trip is done. No, what 1/3? 1/3 of the trip is done. We will, as it looks like right now, we will have an Dubai Tower available when we land. But as he's arriving, 30 left. This is what we actually planned, so no problem there right now. But we will see when we get there. It'll take about 2 or 3 more hours. 3 more hours to go. We'll see. The wind is, we have quite a bit of tailwind, 60 knots roughly. 56 to be precise. Yes, everything is still looking good. And we're reaching 380, flight level 380. And it says 14:15 Zulu. So about 3 hours 20 minutes, 3 hour 20. Okay. That's fine, which will take us down to the airport at about 14:30, I guess. Yes. So this is enough time because I will have a stream right afterwards at 1500 Zulu. So this should work out fine. Okay, that's it, and we will see us again when we reach the top of climb. Or in other words, when we reach 100 miles close to top of climb, because we need to do our descent preparations. But that's it for now. See you then. Bye bye. So we're close now to the top of descent, about 120 nautical miles. So what we're going to do now is the descent preparation. First of all, we take a look into the weather conditions in Dubai. This is our airport, Dubai International, where we have no controller online, and it is 270 with 13, and we have a temperature 23 and a QNH 1015. Okay, 270 is will be runway 30, which we already have. Simbrief has already selected for us, so it's 30 left and Impet 3 Charlie. This is the arrival we have to put into our FMS. Arrival. ILS 30 left. And what did I say? Impet 3 Charlie. There it is. No via insert. So let's briefly check for incontinuities. Nope. So let's see what the arrival looks in the navigation display. In the planning mode, we go to 20 miles. So this is where we are right now. Zack, zack, zack. Then we have this approach there, as we already saw on SkyVector, I think. That's fine, and we need to go down to 2000. What is the sorry? We have 2900 Uldot and then 2000 at Setpo, which is our center fix. 2000. Okay. So first of all, this was done. Then we put Oscar Mike Delta Bravo 30 left into our progress 2 field. So we have 261 miles to go. Then we go to the no, we don't switch off the TV. Next phase is approach. Then QNH 1015, and we put it here as well. 1015, back to standard. Temperature 23 degrees, and we have a wind 270 by 13 knots, and decision 500, decision height. Then we're good at this point. Then we have the flight here. Okay, so we have about back to arc and back to 160. We have about $95 miles to go, so we switch on the seatbelt signs. And we take another look. Okay, just to ensure. We can do a direct, by the way. So we will not do this one, but going directly. Let's go back to the planning mode. There it is. Now come on. So instead of going here, we can directly go to Delta Bravo 506. We will do a from here we have 11. It's a little bit of conk on the MB77 airway, maintaining 570. That's a cruising level. Yeah, which will take us a little bit too early down to, what's the restriction there? 185, so this will be the 2000. This is done to get rid of our height. So no, let's keep it. Let's keep it as it is. And we're not in a real hurry. It will be sufficient time for me to switch to Düsseldorf Tower for my streaming activities. But anyway, let's continue as it is right now. And as if we see that there's no controller coming on, which it looks like right now, then we go to a more direct approach, which would be Delta Bravo 506. Come, let's do it. Not a direct, Delta Bravo 506. We delete everything, we go to IMPET, and then everything after IMPET except Delta Bravo 506 will be deleted. Where's IMPET? There's IMPET. Okay, clear this one. Clear this one. This one. This one. This one. 1-4. 1-3. Girgo. Vela. Ridef. 08. 07. And the no, damn it. Okay, I want to, no problem. So I wanted to delete the discontinuity itself, but instead of doing an undo, we go directly here to Delta Bravo 505 insert. So now we have to ensure that we will get the right heights. 504, 3,900, 4,005, 8,000, 11 miles, 18 miles. This sounds reasonable for me. Okay, so go back to arc mode and 160. So we're really close now, after these modifications, to our top of descent. So we go to our glare shield and dial in 2,000 feet. We go to below. We switch on our radar. Terrain radar will be kept off until flight level 100. And then we start the descent. Yes. Let's go. No controller right now. And we can switch to the progress page to see our deviation as soon as we are close enough. So there we see 6,500 below the path. Let's keep an eye on the web eye just to ensure that we will not fly into a late arriving controller. So once again, here is, we need to be 5,600 at this area here, then we have about 4,600 in this area here, so 4,600 should be MIVAC, is no longer one of our points. So when we reach the shore, we should be above or at 5,000, and then reduce. We are going directly this one here, so should work out. Yeah. 4,500 feet below the path. Go to the toilet. I'll leave you alone with this, with the pictures for a few moments. So back again, sorry for that. Not for being back, but for being away. Let's take a look at the web eye. No controller right now. I will just inform everybody that I am going to, on descent, 30 left. Um, Impet 3 Charlie, ILS approach, inbound from the southeast. When we reach 280, we send it to Unicom. So we have to have in mind that we shortened our arrival, so we need to take a close look at the vertical deviation. And that's it. Okay, we are fine right now. Oops. Come on. We are 40 feet above calculated descent path, but that does not make any difference. GPS is primary. We are in thrust, descent, and nav. Auto thrust white. Level 16, Kupma, with 123 to go. Okay, 1412 muss geschnitten werden. Flugeinstellungen, individuell, zack und Echtwetter und fertig und Änderung übernehmen. So we're a little bit high. Need to reduce speed as well as height. So first of all, I will activate the approach phase. Go back to Yeah, we are high because of the modified arrival, which I programmed manually. So he's trying to catch up, reducing the speed, which is one way to go. The other way would be to keep it there and to reduce or increase the sink rate, which I do right now. Otherwise I'm getting to the airport too late. 1.6. Do we have a constraint? No, there's no constraint. 1.88. Just trying to get back on track. 2.7. By not going too getting too slow. Why is he getting that slow? I'm not sure why he is descending all the time. Why the thrust is idle when I give him a speed of... No, he's not doing what I... And I'm not on the autopilot. That's the point. Alright. Alles rausschneiden. And I'm doing it here. Guck mal. Pass off. No, there, guck mal. Okay, das ist bis 17. 12 bis 17, 5 Minuten raus. Okay, let's see, we are already below. So let's go back to manage mode. Take a look into the web eye. There's no one else but us and the ground controller of an airport. We do not land where we do not land. Kupma, then we fly a couple of... We can already do a direct to the Delta Bravo 505. Direct Delta Bravo 505. And we're switching to local QNH. H. 140 feet above. No big deal. 15, 16. 14, 13, so he's getting rid of the height. So we're arriving here, the shore, switching on the terrain radar, but we're way too high. Our vertical deviation is okay. So here we see the mountains, no problem at all. Don't call it imped approach anymore, because it is in fact not the approach. For ice approach runway 30 left on descent passing flight level 12. Okay. "30 feet below the path." So we're reducing to green dot speed. Hopefully, at least green dot, 220 knots. 250. Yes, it's 220. Because we activated the approach phase. Okay, so we'll do the rest with the flaps. And as usual, on the center fix I will try to get to arrive with flaps 2 and about 180 knots, and then 6.5 miles before the runway gear will be extracted, and 5 miles before touchdown we will have landing configuration. 80 feet below. Okay, landing lights on. Landing system activated. Auto brakes set. Terrain radar activated, but as you can see, no problems here. We're still at flight level 100. Now we are, or 10,000 feet, now we are descending. Yeah, ZEPO is our center fix. 11 miles from the runway, from the airport. Apart from the airport. Okay. So let's see. Did I? Yes, 850. One flex, 2 at 216. Okay, we have 43 miles, which is still a way to go, so we do not reduce any speed. We don't set any flaps unless we're close to the airport. Yeah, 2000 at ZEPO. He's aiming at, oh, the autopilot is aiming at 2000. But we are taking care of the speed. Although it's managed, but it's managed by the flaps. "37 miles. Terrain radar looks good. "30 miles to go. "30 knots wind, mainly will be 270, so it will be nearly completely nose wind. Uh, 250, 220 at Uldot, which is there, and then we have 5 miles to go to ZEPO, our initial approach or center fix. center fix. Full dot 5 miles. Okay, we should be fine. Speed is okay. Height is okay. We're on autopilot. Thrust, descent, nav, auto thrust wide. And we have about 26 miles, 25 miles to go. There we can see the airport. And 30 left is our runway. So we have 22 miles to go. We can switch off the terrain radar. There's no more problems to be seen. We're good. We have about 90 miles to go. Let's switch it to the navigation distance, navigation display distance to 20 miles. Here is our initial or our center fix. So I go for flaps 1 right now. Five miles to go S speed. We are already aligned with the runway, so we activate the approach. Three miles to Setpo. We go for flaps 2. And we continue reducing. Runway is ahead of us. 2,000 feet. Looking fine. Ground spoilers armed. Ten miles. Already captured the localizer. Waiting for the ground speed, we're way too low. Yeah, landing gear will go down at 6.5 miles. Glide slope shows up. We are 7 miles away from the airport. $3,000 is to go around. Gear down. Runway turn off light. Landing lights. Flaps 3. Flaps full. We go for 3,000. Runways ahead. Inform the cabin crew we are landing. And takeoff config. Landing configuration. ECAS memo no blue. We switch off the radar. That's it. One thousand. Speed, glide slope, localizer, auto thrust. Landing is imminent.
above.
100 above.
500. Minimum.
Minimums.
$300.
300 autopilot disengaged.
200. 100.
100.
50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. Retard. 10. 5. Retard. 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 Retard.
Great landing, sagt er. Schwierigkeiten auf der Bahn zu bleiben. Sorry, great landing, but not too easy to remain on the runway. Okay, we will leave here. And stop. Parking brake set, and the time it's 14:38 Zulu. So we switch on the APU. Landing lights off, taxi lights on, landing system off. We don't need the constraints anymore. Come on. Let's check. Then we need to go down here. Can put this back. Flaps are already retracted and ground spoiler is disarmed. We don't need a predictive wind shear anymore. And switch the weather radar completely off. And that's it. Now we start the APU. And we taxi to the gate. Brakes. We take the first gate. I have only a few minutes left for this video. So we take the first one, which is Alpha 9er. Very slowly. Switch off the lights. Oh, 0. That was way too slow. Okay, we'll leave it here. Set the chocks and get the external power units, both of them. Alright, then we can release the brakes. Okay. What's the message here? Electric power, yes, and predictive wind shear is off, yes. Alright. So then we APU bleed from here, and we can cut the engines. Okay, now we are at the APU. We switch off all fuel pumps. Come on, come on. And these two as well. Then we close down the IRS, ADIA, whatever. Okay, that's it. We connect to ground power. We let them go. We switch off the APU. Done. Crew supply off. Anything else? Strobe off. Beacon off. Nav lights off. and probe heats off, APU bleed off. Then let's do some with 42, 2 minutes. 2 minutes to wait before we can log out. I put here everything back on 0 or 100. 1, 3. Okay, so flight director goes off. We are good, good, good. And the doors are opening. Good, good. Here we can reset the trim, which I should have done directly after landing. Sorry for missing it. Okay. Doors are open. We are set up. So we're waiting just another minute and that's it. Well, 50 minutes to go for me before I start the next stream. That's fine enough. So we can set up or prepare the Pirep. There we go. World Tour Pirep 18th SLR2 Hotel Kilo, and we started at 0850. Then we had a crash, but anyway we continued. So and we arrived at 1438, 1438 minute. We had none, but we will look into the tracker file right now. Oops, and yeah, should be sufficient. 3 minutes, we will see. Otherwise we will have to reconnect again. There we go. We go to the tracker page. Bangkok, Dubai. Map is unimportant, and we have to take a look into 2 charts. As we know, this is the crash we had during the startup phase. So we arrived at 1438 as mentioned. We had the crash. For the crash we go into the we go into the other tracker file, the first one. We had a crash at 0819 Zulu, right? Let's see. We took off at 850. What did I say? 850. So it's quite okay. Reset zoom. And then we had a problem at 855. 855, that's when it crashed. Okay, crash 855 is 855, and this is also something we have to mention in the Pirep. Comments. My sim crashed at 0855 Zulu. See both tracker files. Alright, so just to inform him that I had a crash and there is another tracker file, and the correct version was 850 to 1438 sent. Okay, no problem. But that's it for today. One of the flights I did completely in English, at least what I call English. I know all the native English speakers will be happy that I stopped speaking English right now. But anyway, this was due to a remark in one of my viewers. So this time it was in English. Next time we will continue as usual in German language. That's it for today, and see you next time. Bye bye.